Thank you, Joyce. I guess this is an old business. For me, it's new business. My wife, Catherine, isn't here today. She's watching on Zoom. Hi. And so I won't say anything bad about her, but she did have a hip replacement a week ago. And the wonders of modern science, day surgery in at 6 a.m., send her back to me at noon. Hard to believe. But she's doing well. This is her second and final one. And now she's got all the titanium she needs. So I'm happy for that. And the visiting nurse has been doing a good job of watching over her. I guess there's a couple of things I should say tonight. One is a heartfelt congratulations to Lourdes Ramirez for her success in front of the 12th District Court in her lawsuit that argued that the special exceptions violated the comprehensive plan. And Judge Hunter Carroll did that in summary judgment. He said, there's aren't any facts on this. It's just violates the comprehensive plan. And that is in parallel with her victory a couple of months ago in front of the Department of Administrative Hearings, where they said that the change in the Uniform Development Code, those zoning regulations, violated the comprehensive plan also. And my understanding is that the developers who were interveners, that means they're sort of interested parties, and they want to put their nose under the tent and have something to say, as well as the county has decided to appeal that. And so who knows how long it takes? A year and a half, I don't know. There aren't any more facts to gather. This is just a debate about what the law means. And so we'll see how that goes, but nonetheless, congratulations. That was a long struggle for her and the associated lawsuit that got combined together that the SKA Hotel was challenged under. So we'll just follow that and see what happens. And I'm sure she's looking for money, although if she's successful in this, theoretically she can get her money back from the hotels and the county. Right. Anyways, the other thing I wanted to mention is that a couple of the projects we've been following with you, the repaving of the road out front here is done. The state did a good job of doing it and monitoring it, and found that one of the asphalt lays that were put down was too porous. They made them come out and dig it up and do it again. And that's the kind of stewardship over that we want to see. The other project we've followed for you was Turtle Beach, and it was successfully done. And about a week before they got done, the FEMA finally said, well, you know what, you can have until April of next year. We're just trying to make a point. But I guess I'm glad it was done in one hand. On the other hand, about a month later, here came the hurricane and made a bunch of that go away. It's better than it used to be, but it lost some sand down there. But that's Mother Nature. So anyways, we appreciate the way the county worked with us to delay it a couple of months so that they weren't hauling trucks during tourist season. And the trucks they ended up using were the semi-looking trucks, and they were a lot less traffic. Good job for them. And the contractors were really nice people, even though they were from California. They seemed to have recovered when they got here. So I was glad to see that went well. Oh, that's a quote. The other thing that's kind of next on the horizon is there is a hearing next Thursday. I shouldn't say hearing. It's a discussion between the staff and county commissioners. It's agenda item 100. So it's late in the day down in Venice, but it has to do with a request that Mark sponsored when he was not a commissioner. And that is to allow the reconstruction of condos without having been destroyed by a hurricane. Remember several years ago, what they called the Barrier Island League was arguing that if you had a non-compliant condo, was too high, too big, that it was grandfathered in if it was done before the zoning codes were set. And that you were allowed to rebuild it if you had plans, and then you could go back to the same height and the same footprint. And what they wanted to do was to be able to, this condo has to be able to change the comprehensive plan, change the overlay district. That makes me nervous, but nonetheless, because of unintended consequences, that they could go back and build again, and but build with the existing zoning code, which they could do now. They wanted to be able to go back to the same kind of footprint, same number of rooms. And it's sort of hard to put conditions on all those so that you don't get unintended consequences. But the staff worked with the coalition and SKA and the condo council, and they come up with some guidelines. And I think there's a discussion next Tuesday to get guidance from the commissioners so that it can start back through the process. And as you know, there's a process of neighborhood workshops, planning commission, back to the BCC, and for the comprehensive plan change, it's got to go to the state and back to the BCC. So this is just moving at lightning speed, right? But the commissioners and the staff have been very good at taking input, and we'll see where it goes. Originally, they didn't want to have to screen all this, and we asked them to go through the normal screening process, get a good understanding, and I'm glad to see they're coming back to get an updated view, and this time the view will come from Mark Smith on the commission, among other people. So they took a real effort to listen to us and to try to ferret out the unintended consequences. Because what we don't want is someone to buy a condo, tear it down, and then build something ridiculous. You know, a hotel house, one of these condo hotel equivalents, and really change the density. So at least the proposal they're coming back with is that you can build to the existing footprint and the same number of units, but no increase in density, no number increases in units, no variances, no special exceptions. You build back basically what was there. And to Mark's credit, that's sort of where he started, and that's where we are. So we'll see what guidance we get next Tuesday. I suspect SKA will write a letter very similar to what we did a year ago when we said, watch out for the unintended consequences. So we'll see, but that's it on that. Any questions other than that I can answer? Yes, sir. No, there's a roundabout that they installed. Yeah, and by the way, I gratuitously add, I hate it, but I try not to, but yeah. But they're going to come back and extend the edge of the road a little bit because people are falling off of it now. The new one out here, it's in final design. I think there's a Gulf and Bay easement that was requested and is going to be approved, but it won't start until next year. And hopefully after tourist season. But we'll see where they are, but I've heard it April, May next year. But you know, the state's gonna give the county the money and the county's gonna manage it. And so all's right in the world, right? Except it's probably a bad idea. And if you don't think we are against it still, Mark, you'd be confused because we think it's a bad idea. Spencer Anderson, the traffic guy, asked me, what did I want to see in the middle of the roundabout? You know, like a nice sculpture or something like that. And I said, yeah, a traffic light. And I don't think he'll listen to me on that. Anyways, any other questions? John?
Bob, and you can ask Mark to the microphone. Is C Club 5 the only Siesta Key resort that's requested or shown interest in that?
Is C Club 5 the only one showing interest in that? Yes. So we'll see.
Why?
It's an older hotel and it's a little short. I think they would like to build it up to get the 19 feet because they're real close to that. And there's probably, they can find a structural engineer that says there's a problem there, but you know, it's not the kind that they had over on the East Coast, but yes, it's condos. I think it's like
And
three
also
or four.
timeshare.
That's true. But there's no understory parking and there's two levels, right? And 4 buildings. And yeah, I mentioned the structural engineer because it doesn't fall under the 3 stories and above kind of. This was something that's in the staff report that says they need to get a structural engineer to say they should tear it down and rebuild something new. So it's not the same kind of state law. This would be a regulation that if you want to do this, you need to get some engineer to say, I'm just not doing this to build it bigger. But I think that's right, isn't it? I read the report, it's here, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to ask you, even though this isn't a hearing, so. John, anything else? Okay, anybody else? Hi, it's a little early, I guess, but time to go home.